Alright guys, so I'm giving up expediting and I'm going to do courier work. I'm out.
Your hustle gotta be strong in this industry, as in any other industry.
Well, good afternoon, people. So in the last video, if you've seen it, obviously there's some going back and forth between me and Dell, and now we've got another contestant in the ring. We've got Chicago. So this video is going to kind of touch on some of the things that they're talking about, but the main point of this video is to give any of you that do not do expediting currently a good idea of why I do this job, what this job entails as far as what you have to put into it to get what you're hoping to get out of it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to get certain points across. That was Dell right there because I commented on his video, because I was watching both videos before I came here, so he had to see me comment, so now he had to call. Anyhow, I'm going to start off. Any of you that don't watch his channel, I mean, if you want to get a full context of what the back and forth is, it's Courier Driving with Big D. His last video was his response to my last video, and then the video previous to that was what my last video was in response to, which in the video that I responded to, the part that I'm concentrating on is that he is saying he makes X amount of money, which he doesn't. And the reason I'm pointing it out is because he basically said he makes more money than me in expediting. Now, had he just left that alone, I wouldn't be even pointing these things out. Now, as far as the answer to who makes more money, I honestly don't know. Like, that doesn't even matter to me, to be honest. The part that matters to me is making that claim and not being able to back it up with any kind of proof or evidence. The evidence he's given you that he makes more and that he makes X amount of money that he's claiming to make is his own simple math on a calculator or a piece of paper. Not experience, not an entire calendar year's worth of doing this job. Well, courier job, not this expediting. So, with that being said, obviously, if you don't know the numbers and you're only making projections, then okay, and he's basing his projection on, he's saying that in courier work, his route, it's fixed. It's a fixed pay each week, which he then immediately contradicts himself by saying that he can add on only. He doesn't say that you can take it off, which, again, I've not done courier work, just to give you that background. But I do watch enough videos, I do talk to people, I do know the transportation industry in general. I understand that there can be routes that can stay consistent for years, possibly. You know, many of them may be months. But I also know that there is a lot of ebb and flow with their routes, as well as any transportation industry job. No routes are guaranteed, because somebody can underbid. Somebody can just go out of business. Anything can happen. So, with that being said, it's obviously not fixed. I mean, proof of that was also, if you look at his previous videos, he mentioned how during the snowstorm he didn't have certain routes. I believe he mentioned in videos. Maybe it was just a personal conversation that he said in, but I know it was said that he didn't have those routes. that's not fixed. That's what I'm saying. Those are the variables, and those are the things that can happen that I'm trying to point out as far as where his giving you a number is false. I pride myself on transparency. I pride myself on being able to give you all the facts, all the information to back up what I'm telling you, because I don't tell you what I'm doing projection-wise. I tell you what I've done. That's where I have a difference of opinion with, different channels. And again, this is why a lot of people don't do the whole money talk, because right now the fact that I'm trying to point out the way he's giving you this number, it's getting turned into a expediting versus courier, who makes more money. That's not my point. That is not what I'm trying to say. That is because, to be honest, even if courier work was more than expediting, I'm not going to do courier work. I'm just not going to do it. And so, to continue on that point, though, just to give the facts behind, to prove what I'm saying about he's giving you a projected number and not a real number, is in his last video, he even tells you he's going to be going on vacation for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, he doesn't get paid. Those 2 weeks, he loses $4,000 in income, roughly. Those $4,000 puts him under the $100,000 mark for the year. His statement is, I make $100,000 every year as a courier. End quote. That would be false. I don't know about you, but in the public schooling that I went to, 102 minus 4 is 98. Now, I'll even debate the 98 being right. As I said, after he's done it for a year, because we're only in March of this year, and he didn't even get that add-on route to his route until February, maybe the end of January, but he didn't have it for the whole year. Prior to that, he was making roughly, I think he said $1,500 or $1,600 a week. Supposedly this new route added on and took him up to $1,950. So you have only a sample size data to go by. So again, he's making projections. He's not basing his numbers on actual, experience that it's been done. Last year, he was working in a box truck, hauling box truck freight for Amazon, for the same courier company, but he's doing things in a box truck. So obviously he wasn't doing this route last year either. Which, again, that proves my point that things change even in the courier business, where he says things are fixed. Alright, another point about his number being inaccurate. In his last video, he points out that I'm basically X amount of money in the hole compared to courier. Okay, and again, this ain't about expediting versus courier. This is about just his numbers being wrong, being inaccurate. He says, I have a van payment. I do. He says, oh, I don't have a van payment. But he also tells you he paid $10,000 for his van. Does that not come out as an expense towards your income for the year that you bought that van? Anybody? Okay. So we're already down another $10,000. Okay? Bam. Take his $10,000 off of there. Now we're down to $88,000 gross. He says he has a backup vehicle. That's his regular personal vehicle, but he's also saying it's his backup work vehicle. Do we not take a portion of the cost of that vehicle out? I mean, right? So, if that's the case, you're going down even less than $88,000 gross. Now, if none of his, and we're basing the $88,000 after the $10,000 off for the car and his other expenses that he's already said, we still have to take off oil changes, tires, anything else that pops up, brakes. I mean, obviously, doing courier work, you're doing a lot of city driving, which means your brakes are going to wear quicker. You're going to have expenses, and I'm not saying that these expenses are worse off than expediting. Again, so don't get off this. Try to stay focused. Stay focused right here with me. My point is about his numbers being inaccurate, not about which job is better. So, you take off those things, and obviously that changes the gross. And again, that's saying that his routes stay fixed, stay consistent, and stay true for a matter of 12 months, which I believe they're not going to. I believe things will happen because it's already shown us, the data has shown us so far that that can happen and has happened. So, with that being said, where are we with that number? Do you guys agree with me that that number is flawed? Do you feel that that is an accurate number that he's giving? Again, I implore you to go watch his video. As I said, again, it's Courier Driving with Big D. That way you can put this video and my last video into full context. Now to address the perspective he's coming from. If you've watched the videos of his, you can see he is 100% focused on his job is better than my job. That's what he's focused on. Now, just to put a little context into his perspective about that. Mind you, he was doing courier work before he came out on the road expediting. Now, if courier work was so profitable, why did he do expediting? Did he do it for the reasons that a lot of us do it, that do this for long term, or was he after money? And if so, why did he leave such a very profitable driving job that one of the things he stresses is, I get to go home every night. Like, I don't give a shit about it whether he goes home every night. Like, that's not what I need in my life. That's not what I'm chasing in my life. So, if that was what he wanted, why did he ever go on the road? Then he came off of the road due to, he says, he had personal issues that brought him off the road. It wasn't about the money. So then now that he's off the road, and again, go back to, well, you can find his old channel, Expediting with Big D, and you can look at those videos, and you'll see where he's coming from a very stern perspective that expediting is the way to go. So, there's a bias on his side that I'm just, again, giving you full context so you can understand. My point is that he's giving you information that isn't truly backed. Now, mind you, his information on courier work and expediting in general is solid. Like, the information on how to get into it, how to get jobs, all of those things, they're definitely solid. 100%. I'm just saying that the number where he's talking about income is a little misleading, and I feel, again, it's a little, it's just misrepresented is the point. And like I said, I pride myself on that. All right, so about expediting. Now, just to get into the part about, why I do what I do, why I like expediting. Me personally, expediting, and I've mentioned it in other videos, it's a lifestyle. It's not a job. I don't ever feel like I'm working. Do I feel a little frayed or busy at times? Of course. Of course. I mean, running long hours on certain trips and, trying to grind out as many miles. But do I have to feel that way? No. I can go out of service. I can go out of service at any time I want. My life and my life choices have me doing and putting in the miles and hours and days and weeks and whatever you want to say into this job. But the bottom line is I love my job. I can't imagine ever having to do or anything else besides this. I am selectively social. This job allows me to be that. I don't have a boss over my shoulder. This allows me to do that. I don't have to do the exact same repetitive, mundane thing day in and day out. This job allows me to do that. I enjoy living in a small space back there. I'm a minimalist. As far as I don't like a bunch of stuff. I like having my little space and my little area that's mine. When I go home, that's my home. I do everything there, but my space is my van. That is my little home, away from home. My home in home, whatever you want to call it. But so with courier work, the way I see courier work is it's a job. You don't, at least I have yet to see a video of anybody saying, oh, courier work is a lifestyle. It's I get to do all these wonderful things. You don't see that in courier work, which is why I wouldn't want to do it. I enjoy the freedom of this job. That there is close to as important as the money. Obviously, the money is always going to be the most important because you have to have money to survive. But aside from that, this job offers me everything I want. I can work when I want. I choose to work as hard as I do because that's just my work ethic. That's just how much I enjoy what I do. I like making money. I like driving. As I said, being on the road is therapeutic to me. But if you come at expediting as though it's a job, like it's something you need for paying bills and whatnot, this job will not work for you. It will not. Because the person coming from that perspective generally wants to be home each night, wants to have a so-called normal life, to where you put in X amount of hours per day and then the rest of the day is yours. You know that that's what you're getting day in and day out. If that's what you're looking for, this is not the job. I will never, ever come across in these videos as though I'm trying to get you to do expediting. This is an expediting channel. I do expediting for a living, but I am not going to try to get you to come into expediting. I am not going to try and convince you that expediting is better than another job. I won't do that, because if I persuade you to do it based on what I'm telling you, based on trying to prop up my numbers or prop up the positives of this job, and you come out here and you fail miserably and it affects you for years to come because you went into financial debt, which caused you a lot of problems, I wouldn't be okay with that. I'm not doing this for simply monetary gain or my own ego or anything like that, to be on YouTube and be seen and viewed and commented. That's not my goal, not at all. If it was, I'd be doing a lot more different things. I'd be putting a lot of clickbait titles out there. I'd be putting a lot of disinformation out there, because you can manipulate things. You can manipulate numbers to be certain things, but at the end of the day, if you have all the information available, the numbers can't lie to you. I'm kind of getting off topic a little bit there, but this being looked at as a job, that's also why there is such a high failure rate in this job, because so many people need this for work, because they can't get a job elsewhere, and they think this is an easy job because it's just driving. It's sitting in the vehicle and driving down the road. Then when they find out that they have to actually put in some work in order to get that money, to get the most money out of it, and you can't spend your money frivolously while you're out here, then they end up going home, or they end up jumping from fleet owner to fleet owner and carrier to carrier, thinking it's the grass is greener on the other side. As I said, there is just very few of us that stay in this business, are successful at this business, and enjoy this as a life. There's not a lot of us, as I said, because you cannot come at this as a job. The other guy that's Chicago, his videos, when he's talking about expediting compared to any other work, it's always, he stresses the hours put in, constantly, which I'll agree. The hours you put into this, it's even been said to me from my father, who's done truck driving my entire life. He's been truck driving for over 50 years. And he'll tell you, if you try to break this down due to the hours, it's a no-brainer. This job sucks ass. Because you're gone from home for 3 weeks at a time, if you really want to do it and make anything. So how many hours is that? 3 weeks. You're counting every hour because you're not home, right? Now, if you break it down to the hours you're actually having to do anything, maybe it gets a little better, but it's still out there. Because, for me, as I said, when I'm driving down the road, it doesn't bother me at all. Traffic sucks occasionally, but when I'm driving down the road, I can make phone calls, I can listen to videos, I can take care of things. Oh, shit. Okay, so into the recap. Week number 5. We had 4 loads and a rescue. First load of the week was Nashville to Kansas City. We did 21 deadhead, 574 loaded. Then we did Kansas City to Chicago, 1 mile deadhead, 501 loaded. Then we did Chicago to Laredo, 36 deadhead, 1,350 loaded. And then we did McAllen, Texas to Princeton, Indiana, 191 miles deadhead, 1,311 loaded. And then the rescue load added on 277 miles to that, for a grand total of 4,003 miles for the week, 249 miles in deadhead at a 6% clip. The gross pay was $3,491 at a rate per mile averaged out to 87 cents. Not good. That was not good. That was 2 loads averaging 2 loads at 95 cents and then 2 loads at 80 cents. Loads at 80 cents were obviously coming out of Texas. So that was 87-cent average. Insurance and van payment, weekly expenses, which are my fixed costs, $139.22 for insurance, $158 for van payment. Gas ran me $469.73. Tolls ran me $30. Maintenance repairs ran me $80.05 for a total of $877 for expenses, which gives my net for the week $2,614 net for the week. So that is my recap for week 5. I am currently in week 9, so I'm a little behind. I'm going to get those caught up. Just trying to give you guys this content as much as I can. Yeah, so hopefully you guys are enjoying it, and hopefully you're happy with it. Before I sign off here, yeah, let me know if, I know some of you have commented that you liking the videos each day. Those of you that tune into these videos and you end up not liking them, this is your first time on this channel, and whatever, I'm not sure why it brought you here, whether the algorithm of the videos you were watching brought mine up as suggested or whatnot. But those of you that don't like the videos, tell me what you don't like about them. Tell me if there's something that I'm not giving in these videos that you would like to see. Again, I'm here to try to help inform you guys the best I can. So I'm sitting here in southern Georgia. Hopefully get a run today. It's Thursday, and I'm out.